It's Tuesday, February 11, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. The Caribbean Development Bank is predicting economic growth of 1% for Barbados this year, while warning that government must stick to its stringent fiscal adjustment program. At the same time, President of the CDB, Dr. Warren Smith, says the region is expected to grow at an average of 4.1% in 2020, which he noted is consistent with expectations of accelerated global economic activity. He was speaking at the bank's annual press conference this morning.
We're projecting regional GDP growth of 4.1%, consistent with expectations of accelerated global economic activity. With estimated daily production of about 100,000 barrels of oil, Guyana should dominate regional growth performance this year. Other growth drivers in the region should be the construction, tourism, and agriculture sectors. But economic growth will remain lopsided and below the sustainable rates needed for long-term resilience. Borrowing members like Barbados, Grenada, Jamaica, and St. Kitts and Nevis must stay on course with their homegrown socio-economic reform programs. Others should join the bandwagon and commence with alacrity implementation of their own adjustment programs.
In other news this Tuesday, Parliament gave its stamp of approval for just over $784,000 to pay workers in the National Cleanup Program. Speaking on a resolution for Supplementary Estimate Number 12, Environment Minister Trevor Prescott said the initiative was working and the intention is not only to clean up Barbados, but to keep the workers employed.
The workers will remain employed until the end of the financial year and beyond. But we made an adjustment from the original position that we took because of these challenges, and the workers will now work week on, yes, but I'm not saying that they work week on, week off, down to the end of the financial year, and from there on, we will continue.
Meanwhile, Opposition Leader Bishop Joseph Atherley is hoping that the National Cleanup Initiative will extend beyond the We Gathering campaign, as he expressed concern about the state of the environment.
I am happy to know that the government is embarked upon a program of cleaning up Barbados, because Barbados has become a messy place. And let's not pat ourselves upon the backs too early. It is not yet a clean place. It is still a messy place. And I would want to applaud the Honourable Minister of the Environment for the labours that he has exerted in an effort to bring improvement to what was really a bad situation with mess and garbage all over the place, making the country very, very unsightly. I would like to think that government is not simply motivated by the thought that we are into the year of regathering, but that government is motivated by the view that we need to have a clean environment in the interest of the health of our own people, in the interest of the health of those who come to visit with us or to reside temporarily here, and in the interest of having the country remain a jurisdiction that is attractive and appealing to potential investors.
The Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is looking forward to sitting at the CARICOM table here next week. A day after Prime Minister Mia Mottley disclosed that Trudeau would be visiting Bridgetown, he too confirmed his plans to hold group talks with regional leaders who will be here for the CARICOM intersessional meeting as well as bilateral talks. According to the Canadian leader, those discussions will center on the fight against climate change, including protecting oceans, job creation, and sustainable economic growth. Canada is also expected to seek the region's support for its bid to secure a seat on the United Nations Security Council. Trudeau notes that with almost 1 million people of Caribbean descent living in Canada, he's anxious to deepen already strong ties between Canada and the Caribbean and to build a better world.
There's regional and international news after this short break. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now in St. Lucia. President of the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Aaron Alexander, has issued a stern warning to the Alan Chasney government to get its act together on how it will treat to the legalization of marijuana. More in this report from HDS News Force.
Alexander did not mince words in sending a warning to the current administration on the issue of cannabis legalization and, moreover, the use of the herb by the Rastafarian faith as a sacrament.
Minister Bradley Felix, and as I've said in different forums, I have confidence in his leadership and his stewardship, so I'm hoping that something positive will come out this time. But we as a Rastafari community, we are prepared to take other measures, and this is the fourth chance of this government, to actually make good on their campaign promises, all on the platform talking about cannabis legalization or decriminalization, and Mr. Herman Gill Francis was the point man during all the campaign of 2016. So the Labour Party had Emma Hippolyte talking about it as well. So if we give them another chance, they would do it. But the Labour Party time has expired as far as this issue is concerned. We have no faith in the Labour Party as far as legalizing cannabis. The United Workers Party, they're on the last strings right now. And if not, we will see them in court because we are tired of this thing. Our constitutional rights have been violated. Our human rights, our religious rights have been violated for far too long. So, after 40, 50 years of advocacy, we are basically out of patience with this issue, and if it's the courts we have to resort to, so be it.
On the international scene, South Africans today remembered global statesman Nelson Mandela as they marked 30 years since he was released from prison after serving 27 years for opposing the apartheid regime.
This is Mr. Mandela, Mr. Nelson Mandela.
30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of Victor Verster prison, his first steps of freedom after nearly 3 decades behind bars. From the steps of Cape Town City Hall, he had this to say.
I have fought against white domination. And I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony.
The man holding his microphone was current President Cyril Ramaphosa. And on Tuesday, the anniversary of Mandela's momentous release, he stood on the same spot.
It was here when we received Nelson Mandela and celebrated his release from prison. The 11th of February will forever be remembered as one of those most memorable days in the history of the world.
After his release from prison, Mandela wasted little time in guiding South Africa from the shackles of apartheid to multiracial democracy. And Ramaphosa said South Africa should be proud of its achievements in entrenching that democracy. But he said there is still more to be done to fulfill Mandela's legacy. That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb.
You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.